If you think you need to have tons of free time to cook at home every day, then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Kalera, and I suck at saying no to people, so my schedule is always packed. But I found a meal planning routine that works for me, so my husband and I eat nearly every meal at home, which saves so much money. Let's spend a weekend together as I meal plan, grocery shop, and meal prep for the coming week. So we try to cook only 3-ish meals a week, and we make this work by simply making a bigger batch, having planned overs the next day. This keeps us from wasting food and from having to cook every night, which honestly, I cannot think of a worse nightmare than having to cook every single weeknight. Like, that's scary stuff. Really, the first thing I do, I pull up my Notion meal planning dashboard, which absolutely saves my brain every single week. It's literally a lifesaver. I also pull up my Google Calendar to make sure that my meal plans are actually realistic with what's going on in my life. So as you can see, this is a little bit of a busier week in the evenings. We're gonna have to go with more simple meals. So most of the time, I have no idea what sounds good, although I do have a pro tip. Always plan your meals when you're hungry. Your recipes just stick out to you so much more. You're like, oh, that looks delicious. And it makes all of the decisions so much easier. So usually I just start by scrolling through my recipe database, and I strategically put really yummy looking photos in my recipes so that they catch my eye as I scroll past. If you're excited to eat a certain recipe, you're going to enjoy making it so much more. And that's one way that I've kind of tricked myself into being excited to cook, even though I definitely have a love-hate relationship with it. So this baked mastacholi, which is, as you can see, one of our favorites, that is really just speaking to me. So I'm gonna add that to the list. Okay, just like that. One recipe down. 2 more to go. I also try to plan out my sides in advance. We like to have a veggie with pretty much most meals, unless there's like a lot of veggies in the meal itself. I think I'm gonna go with this roasted zucchini here. It's so easy, it's hands off and super yummy, especially with pasta. Like zucchini and pasta, it just mixes really well. For the next meal, I am kind of thinking steak. Steak is kind of out of my comfort zone of like foods I'm familiar with and comfortable with cooking, just because I haven't worked with it much. I'm much more into like chicken and ground beef. We use those all the time. But I finally made the like executive decision that I'm gonna push us and try making some steak. With that being said though, I don't actually have like a recipe for grilled steak, so I'm gonna need to go look one up. Let's just Google grilled steak. Photo looks really good. So it gives me like a seasoning blend and then herb butter, which that sounds kind of cool. Okay, I mean, this is the first one that Google gave me, but it looks amazing. Oh my gosh. Yep, this one is getting added to the list. And this is where having my Notion planner is so helpful, because I can create like a recipe card. They're all in one place. There is a little bit of setup the first time you make a recipe with like some of these properties, but this is what allows it to like automatically generate my grocery list, which is a lifesaver. So I just go through, I add the link so I can go back to the source if I need to. I copy and paste the ingredient list, and then I also add the directions. Like, yes, this takes a little bit of time up front to build the recipe, but regardless of the system you use, if you use like physical recipe cards, you're still gonna have to write it down, and it's gonna take time the first time anyway. But this Notion system allows me to like automate so much of the process, which saves me so much heartache. And then let's add this to, I'm thinking we're gonna make this on Saturday just because it's a newer recipe, and I know this is the first time we're using our grill for the season, so there's probably some seasonal cleaning that we'll need to do, and it's just not realistic for us to do on a weeknight. And then I just need one more recipe. Let's scroll through this list again and see what photos really catch my eye. And if nothing catches my eye, I'm gonna go to my husband and ask him like, hey, what sounds good? Choose the last meal for the week. Okay, actually, another one of our classic favorites, Korean beef. That's looking pretty good this week, and as long as I do my meal prep on Sunday, it's pretty simple to make on a weekday. So I think it'll be pretty quick. We're very, very familiar with it, so I'm gonna add that one to the list. So now that I've picked my meals, the Notion template will automatically generate my grocery list, and I just need to go through and mark the things that we actually need to purchase or the things that we already have in stock. So this is my husband's time to shine. I have my runner, my husband. Are you ready? Time, go. Okay, we have salt now, sun-dried tomatoes. Do we need another yogurt?
We have one.
Brown rice, brown sugar, soy sauce, clementines. Are we out of carrots? Maple syrup. Time. And that took us exactly 5 minutes. How many things do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10. 10 things. So it's gonna be a pretty light day today, thankfully. My husband and I usually tag team grocery day. It's a fun little weekly outing we do together. As I mentioned earlier, one of my biggest goals with food is saving time, stress, and money without sacrificing quality. One of the most important and honestly unexpected ways that we save money is by simply coming to the store with a list and a plan. That helps prevent impulse purchases so much, although it's not foolproof. You'll see me pull up the grocery list on Notion while we shop. It's honestly the best. It tells me what aisle things are in, and I can also check things off as I go. I would literally not grocery shop without it. For other ways that we cut down on the cost of food, there's the obvious stuff like shopping sales and using coupons when we can and not eating out as often. But one of the things that unexpectedly decreased our grocery budget so much is not buying snacks anymore. Processed, prepackaged snacks are like sneakily expensive. And since we're trying to eat fewer ultra-processed foods anyway, we've started just making most of our snacks at home. For example, trail mix is one of my absolute faves. We already have nuts and chocolate chips in our pantry for other recipes, so it's easy to throw together. You know that classic advice about not shopping on an empty stomach? Yeah, well, we ignored it this time around, and did we end up impulse buying s'mores? Yes. Do I regret it? Only a tiny bit. They looked so good. So now I'm gonna go get these groceries home and put away, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Sunday night meal prep.
Welcome to a wellness themed week of my life. I did one of these videos at the beginning of this
Sunday night is my productive me time. It's when I catch up on YouTube videos, I do my meal prep, I also vacuum the stairs and do an ab workout. My husband plays volleyball on Sunday evenings, so I decided while I have the house to myself for a few hours, I might as well make like a fun little routine so I can have something to look forward to on Sunday night so I don't have like the Sunday EBGBs. My Notion template automatically compiles all of the meal prep tasks that I need to do for a given week. So this week we have, for the Korean beef, we have to slice the carrots, zucchini, and bell pepper, make the sauce. For the grilled steak, we just want to mix the seasoning and then also the herb butter in advance. And then I also have some things that are just weekly, like rinsing and cutting any fruit that we have for the week. I think it's gonna be a pretty light week, just some slicing of veggies, and my week has just become so much easier. This is not true meal prepping where you make every single meal for the week. Instead, I just prep ingredients that make my cooking sessions throughout the week so much quicker. This whole process typically takes me anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours, but hey, I don't have to chop onions when I'm already hangry after a long work day. Absolutely a win for me. Zucchini are one of my favorite things, not only just to like make in general, but also to cut because they cut so easily and quickly. Like the knife just glides. And that's a wrap for tonight. That was a quick little meal planning session. Usually it's a little bit more in depth, but I'm really glad it wasn't because I've never filmed while meal planning, and it's 10 o'clock now, so I'm gonna go to bed. But that's how I set myself up for a really, I wouldn't say easy, but for a much easier, more smooth week cooking at home for every meal. I hope this inspires you to build a rhythm and a system that works for you and your goals. And again, if you want to try my Notion template, it's linked below. Also, if you have a favorite go-to dinner that's super easy, drop it in the comments because I know we all can use a little extra dinner inspo. All right, see you guys next time.